much. The accountant was shorter, softer, and would probably assume the cartel had found him. If anything, he'd cry and piss his pants. "Go." Jack stepped out from behind the curtain and had Herbert in a chokehold with his right arm and had his left hand over his mouth before the guy could even react. He struggled, but Jack held tight while Ty scooted out from under the bed. The new guy held his syringe, and several long minutes of struggling passed between Ty injecting 100 milligrams of ketamine into Herbert and the accountant slumping in Jack's arms. "We're good to go," Jack said into his microphone as the ketamine stupor kicked in. The plan was for Herbert to look like just another American tourist who'd chased too many tequila shots with too much cheap Mexican beer. Drunks attracted a lot less attention than unconscious bodies wrapped in rugs. They lowered him to the bed and gathered any identifying belongings they could find that would prove Herbert Scanlon had been in the room, along with their cameras. They couldn't take everything with them. Guys who had too good a time at happy hour didn't carry luggage around, but a suitcase of clothes confiscated from Herbert's home was already in the motel they'd rented under his fake name in the States. Once they added a few toiletries and his wallet to the tableau, it would look like he had been there for days. "We're ready," he told O'Brien. "Hold up a few minutes. There's some activity on the street. Might draw a crowd or what passes for law enforcement around here." Jack hated waiting. "We can't wait too long. If we're late to the wedding, we'll never hear the end of it." Charlotte Rames, the Devlin Group's executive administrator, and Tony Casavetti, one of the group's top agents, were getting married on Casavetti's Texas ranch, and the timetable was tight. Deliver Herbert, get to San Antonio, power nap, shower, don tuxedos, and be at the ranch by noon. The wedding had already been postponed 3 times over the last year due to work, and she'd made it clear it wasn't to happen again. And anybody who was late or sustained injuries that might ruin the wedding photos would be getting shit assignments for a good long time. "Look at my hands," Herbert said in a low, awestruck voice. "My fingers look like Fred Flintstone's." His whole body looked like Flintstones, though Jack didn't bother to tell him so. He hoped whoever kicked in Herbert's new motel room door in the morning brought the plastic zip-tie cuffs, because standard issue might not cut it. "Okay, the street's as clear as it's going to get," O'Brien informed them. "Time to get the hell out." Jack didn't need to hear that twice. He looped Herbert's arm around his shoulders and used his left arm to support him while Ty pulled open the door. Thwop. The silenced bullet passed between Jack's head and Ty's, then continued through the cheap wall behind them. Ty slammed the door while Jack hissed an "Oh shit" update into his mic. The question was whether it was random robbery-related violence or if the cartel had found them. Random street thugs rarely used silencers, though. It was the cartel, and they were in serious trouble. Jack's first instinct was to shove Herbert to the floor, but he was afraid once the guy was down there, Jack wouldn't be able to get him back up. Instead, he hauled him toward the bathroom, praying whoever was in the hall didn't open fire on the flimsy walls with automatic weapons because his accountant friend wasn't fast on his feet. Looking back over his shoulder, he saw West was belly down on the floor with the lower half of his body folded up in the closet, an uncomfortable position that allowed him to see both the door and the window while making him less likely to take any bullets coming through the wall. Not bad for a new guy, he thought, as he convinced Herbert folding himself up in the bathtub was a good idea. "I didn't see anybody go in," O'Brien said into his ear. Maybe whatever was going on in the street was a diversion. He kept his voice low so as not to give their shooter an audible target. "I'm not a rookie." No, he wasn't. They'd been partnered more often than not during their time with the group, and there was nobody Jack trusted more. "Maybe not, but somebody in that hallway took a shot at us, and we don't know who it was, how many there are, or where they came from." "I can come in behind them." Jack thought about it for a second. "Negative. It's better if they don't know you're here at all. How's the fire escape look?" "Like the rest of the place. I wouldn't put money on it holding Herbert." "Shit." "How about just me?"